right, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Jay. I got another special guest in the building. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Like through my company name or just like?
Just who you are, what you do, everything.
So, my name is Rachel. I'm the owner of Lucki One Management and the founder of the platform Showcase.
All right, Rachel, where you from?
I'm from Chicago.
What side?
South Side.
All right, so what was it like growing up on the South Side?
So for me, it was good. I was raised on 31st and Giles. I went to Ray School, went to De La Salle. So it was pretty smooth.
Now, I had a homie that went to De La Salle. He actually got kicked out, though. De La Salle, that's like
they was kicking out everybody.
That's like I don't want to say a private school, but it's like a private school, right?
It's a private Catholic high school.
Okay, so I understand why he got kicked out because I know him personally. You know what I'm saying? So what was it like going to a Catholic school?
I liked it. It was an all-girls school, so we had 2 different campuses, and I got to really focus on, like, the different things that I like to do. So it was pretty smooth. Like, I mean, everybody was pretty good at the sports, you know, and, like, I don't know. I liked Catholic school because I felt like it wasn't as messy as public school.
So you went to Catholic school your entire...
I went to public school and elementary school. I just went to a really good elementary school.
Oh, okay. So what were some of the things you like to do growing up?
Well, I grew up playing soccer. I played soccer, like, my whole life until, like, maybe 18, 19.
So you cold then?
I'm pretty good.
Okay.
And I played instruments. I was in a band.
What instrument you play?
I started off with the violin, then I went to the clarinet, tenor sax.
Okay, so you like super talented then. Because it's not too many people that can actually play soccer. Like, usually people play soccer for 1-2 years.
Yeah, they be like fake decent. No, but I'm decent. Yeah. It's levels.
Playing instruments, so you was like super talented growing up.
Oh yeah, the woman who raised me, my aunt, she put me like in so much stuff. Like, I didn't go outside and shit when I was younger. Like, I wasn't like, I don't mean to be cursing, but I didn't go outside much. I was always doing something. So
looking back on life, do you think that hurt you or helped you?
I think it helped because I know how to be focused on something. But, like, I think it only helped.
I know a lot of people that they were put into a lot of activities as a kid, and they always looked at it as punishment, me being one of them, you know, because it was like...
Because you probably didn't like it.
Yeah, I got to do this and I got to do that. But growing up, having somebody that gives you multiple options, like, that's super dope, being an adult. Especially having kids, like, man, y'all gonna do this, y'all gonna do that, because you never know what you actually fall into and what you end up loving. Yeah. And the only way to do that is to try things.
Which, if you get lucky enough to try those things when you're younger, you kind of just know. Like, I knew what I liked. Like, I played soccer, I ran track, and I played basketball. I was decent at all 3. I was the best at soccer. I went downstate for track. I was all conference in soccer. I got a scholarship to school playing soccer. And basketball was just like something that I played, you know, in between the seasons, so I was never not doing something. Right. But I still started in that. And, I mean, I wasn't, like, the best, but I did enough. Like, I'm decent, you know. But, yeah, I really enjoyed playing sports when I was younger. So that was something that I just kind of dove off into. And then when, you know, I'm one of those people where I don't like recreational sports. Right. So when people are playing like in a football league and shit, like, I think that's, I don't want to say it's lame, but I think it's lame because you're not going to nobody's ship. You're not, you know what I mean, going to like the league. You know, I just be wondering why.
You play for trophies. That's what you're saying. The real trophies.
Yeah, like, I'm very competitive. Okay. So, like, my brother plays like flag football. He loves it, and that's, you know, that's good for him. It's just not like my speed, but when I stopped playing, I kind of dove off into like the industry, not like music industry, but like club industry, and it just all kind of like went from there.
All right, before we get into that, what college did you go to?
Jackson State.
Oh, I went to Jackson State too. I only went for a semester though.
So look, it's crazy. My industry life started in Jackson. Okay. I was down there, me and my best friend. I went down there straight from De La Salle. they brought me down there on an unofficial visit when I was like 17, and I like loved it. Like I was down there with the soccer team, and it was lit.
Yeah.
So I decided to go. I get down there, and my first like industry anything, I was working at freelance for like 3 years.
Okay.
And like that was like the start for really being like in the club for me. But I was more so like, you know, all the athletes kick it together at Jackson State, so we get down there early.
Yeah.
So
I know a little rebellious story I had. You know, the sororities and fraternities, they got their rocks everywhere.
yeah.
And for some reason, I just thought it was a good idea to take the rock. You know, I never took it, though. I never took it, though. You feel me? But because it was like they held so much power on that campus. You
could have
feel me?
started like an uproar.
I know. And coming
like
from Chicago, that was the whole point. But I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that.
All the dudes from Chicago was always kind of into it with all the dudes from everywhere else there, particularly the dudes from New Orleans.
Oh my God! So you really went to Jackson State for real?
I lived in Alexander Hall my freshman year, and then my sophomore year I moved to the Palisades, and I lived there until junior year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I ain't never beef with the New Orleans dudes. We was cool though.
They flooded, tried to flood the Chicago dudes, but Chicago, they stuck together so hard out there, like it wasn't.
Shout out to Jackson State. Even though it was only for a semester, you know, I enjoy
Jackson State was lit.
My HBCU experience.
Yeah.
BET came down there. I got the chance to experience that. So shout out to all the HBCUs.
Yes, it's an experience.
Now, what was the entertainment like as far as the nightlife? Like, what made you get into that?
Because like you can only I'm doing practice like two a days during season, 3 a days off season. So I really ain't have time to work like that. And outside of the money you would get from like work study or just like whatever stipend you would get from the team for like being on the team, they'll give you a certain amount of money. Like I'm used to having certain shit, so that just was not enough.
Fact.
Like it was not enough. So I was doing what I was doing, and then I got hired at the club, and I was working at Abercrombie at County Line Mall.
Okay.
For like maybe a year, me and some of the girls on the soccer team, and then after that, I'm a very independent thinker. I'm very, I think out the box. I'm not, I'm conservative because of how my family was.
Yeah.
But I'm very, open-minded when it comes to how I front my move. So I just was like, damn, maybe I should just work in a club, went in there and it was lit and they hired me right away. And I'm like, okay. And I was making decent money in there because they had cocktail waitresses. So we get tips and stuff. It was decent. And then it was fun, too, because we got to party and work. So
at what point did you see that as, a career where you can actually focus on that and make a lot of money doing these things?
So I'm not one of them females who think that it's a bad thing to make money off how you look. I don't think it's bad.
Okay.
Everybody got different sale points,
right.
And with your sale point, like how you can talk to people, that might not be the next person's sale point. So when people try to hate on people for, how they make their money or how they do what they do, I don't really be fucking with that shit because I'm going to tell you to get money, Nice. So, I literally was out there and just everybody kept approaching me. My name they called me Black Barbie out there. Facts. The dudes on the basketball team named me that. And then it just went from there. So, I was a Crown Royal girl in Mississippi. I won Jackson State's top model my freshman year when I got there. I don't even model, but it was just,
What haven't you done?
I don't know. People just be trying to get me to try stuff because I'm ambitious and they know I might try it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really that. I figured out how to monopolize off how I look down there. And, they real big on red bones down there. So when you could make a splash, it's not a red bone down there. It's deep.
Yeah. So how do you feel, because being a college athlete and you touched on, having very little money to work with, how do you feel about college athletes being able to monetize their likeness now?
I think it's a good thing because they're only going to give you so much. Closed mouth going to get fed. And if you're not out here trying to figure out how to, monopolize off your brand, then you're not doing something right. You're supposed to try to make money at all angles for anything that you're capable of doing. And people will sell themselves short based off opinions. But your opinion is not paying my bills.
Thanks.
So I'm not going to sit there and not do what I need to do to get shit done. So I think it's great.
Now, you go from being athlete to in the entertainment industry as far as the nightclub go, what made you say I want to get into the management game?
So, like, how much do you know about me? Do you know anything about me?
I know what I see on Instagram. You feel me?
Okay. So, I was married for like 6 years. My ex-husband is a professional athlete. He's pretty famous right now. And I was on the road with him for a couple of years, and like, well, in his profession, they don't make money until after they start getting endorsed and actually get signed, and you know what I mean? So I was like taking care of us all these years. Yeah. And like went on the road with him. And like I'm always like, like Pinky and the brain, like I'm the brain behind the operation, and he has hella talent. I can't take that away from him. Like he is not where he's at today because of me, but I played a role. Right. Because of you just gotta like hold shit down so people can do what they do so they can get where they need to be.
Facts.
In order for us to be together. Because I'm not the type of woman that can go lay up in your mother's house, or any of that. Like, if we going to try to be together, then we need to be doing it singly, and somebody needs to hold shit down. Like, that's just what it is. So, that's what was going on. And then, after we didn't work out, like, I was like, fuck that. I felt like I had my life on hold. So, it wasn't really like, I was like, oh, I'm going to start managing. Like, I was already in the industry here. I worked at, like, Zentra, Sangria, like all the major clubs downtown, Soundbar, Spy Bar, for years. And I was like, shit, let me just go ahead. And I was throwing a birthday party, and I was actually managing Chad London. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I know Chad London.
Yeah, so I started off managing Chad, and it just went from there. Like, I threw my first show. It was a birthday party, and he was supposed to be, like, the headliner, and it was lit, and I just never stopped.
So, so being around all these people, you know what I'm saying, that don't necessarily make you popping, you know what I'm saying? So how were you able to throw these events and get people to come and act? Because it's a million people throwing events, and a lot of them be dry, you know what I'm saying? So how were you able to make that transition to just off top, just, man, this way it's at?
It's a formula. Like, I'm a very smart cookie. It's a formula. Like, I do certain things numerically to make sure that I get certain results. So, after the first one, like, and I know which artists do what. So I really do be paying attention. People think that, like, I might not be, like, as much in communication with the artists as I should now, but that's because I deal with so many of them. So it's really, like, I got an assistant who handle all of that because it gets overwhelming. And then people, when it's your business, people take things personally. Like you're, trying to be personal towards them for how you conduct your business when it's not, like you are part of the equation, so I have to treat it as such. So I just do certain things, I was already kind of popular though. That's what I'm saying. Like I've never, like, even when I went to Ray, D. LaSalle, like I always kind of been like a socialite in Chicago amongst like, I'm like from 31st, so amongst that like social scene, like Whitney Young, D. LaSalle, or all of them, and that's kind of just, I just used what I already had to,
Now you talked about how difficult it is dealing with a boatload of artists. Now with so much on your plate, was it easy for you to say, okay, I'm willing to take this amount of effort and put this into somebody else?
So I've tried to work with some artists, but like sometimes artists, okay, a lot of artists will try to get up on top of you because they need management, but their idea of management is literally just somebody who's going to financially support the things that they need to have done. When really, if I were to manage somebody, it would have to be somebody who already has like a project done, something that I can work with to try to monetize off of, so I can create the funds to fund your project. Right. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. They come in all backwards, and I automatically be offended because it's just like, it's not like I'm broke, So it's like I be feeling like people be trying to have their hands in my pockets. I don't like that, So I'm very funny about like the whole management thing with people. I don't really do that. But what I do know is I offer a service, so while all the artists think that, they are the breadwinner in the situation, which is why I should work with them, that's not the case when people try to work with me. Right. Because I have something to offer you also. So it's like now we have to make it work. And a lot of them are like, unwavering because really all they wanted was probably money in the first place.
How do you decide who you gonna move forward with as far as management, or even getting on one of your showcases?
So really, a lot of people reach out to me. I don't reach out to people no more. Right. The only people I reach out to are artists that I've been dealing with, to show that formality and, to still give that respect. Anybody new they reaching out to me, and I'll give anybody the opportunity to be heard if you have something that I could see, like a project I can see, something that I can hear, so I can pass it on to my DJs. And it just seemed like you could kind of see on your page that you're probably an artist. Like some artists be brand new and they just be needing to get up and get around other artists. So I'll throw a couple of those in there too. Because they'll be like, oh my God, it was my first show and I met so many people there that I could work with because you gave me the opportunity to do that. So it'd be about kind of fitting a bunch of different people in. For the more popular artists, it'd be bring them outside so they can crowd steal from each other. Because the artists that sound the best, you automatically going to like all of their music, collectively. So they can have the same fans. It's kind of just like a formula, but I give anybody a chance if they serious.
Now, I'm assuming, because every time you drop little clips, you know what I'm saying, or who gonna be on the show, none of them be trash. And I know it's a million artists, like you said, they reach out to you nowadays. So how do you let somebody down politely if they just trash? Is that's just not the sound for your show?
You know what, to be honest with you, I have lucked up and I haven't got nobody that's really trash. I feel like people know that the shows be so busting that they don't want to come with trash. You would be embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I haven't really had nobody come to me. I haven't had to turn nobody down because they're trash. I turn people down because the lineup gets too full. I'll be doing 40 people lineups. And I'll have to start cutting people out because I'm getting backed up on the time. So I wouldn't turn somebody down because their music is trash. Ain't nobody would trash me. I think everybody becoming correct at this point.
How do you maneuver 40 people into one showcase? Because most people not coming on time.
They don't. So everybody show up close to 10. That's the thing. I'll be having people booked at 8:30. They will come close to 10 o'clock, and I'll be like, I told y'all, Moesha, my assistant, she told y'all in the email, to be here by 8:30, and here y'all come late, and then people be pressed, but I don't give a fuck. Right. At the end of the day, I told you what time to be there, and now you're late, and you want to perform in front of these people, but you want to press me because you're late? No. So, and they know I'm coming like that too. But you can only respect it because I give you instructions that you just don't follow. So then you want me to accommodate the instructions that you're not following. And I really don't have time for that. I get irritated. So it's really the whole team. I ain't gonna lie. Mile High and Scully play a huge part in that. They help me organize. Because when me and Moesha are tied up, because Moesha will be at the door, I'm running back and forth trying to get artists from the door to the stage, to the host. And Scully and Malhar are the ones who check off the lineup, take the music. They're the ones that really keep everything in order. Be like, Rachel, it's time to go get down. So they really be, they are part of the team. They're not just DJs that I pay. They are my team.
How did you go about picking those two DJs?
So Malhar, he did my first showcase. I met him through the people that I was originally throwing the shows with. They call TCO. And I was working with ID to G.
Yeah.
And I met Malhar through them. He would kick it with them all the time. And Scully, I've known Scully since 4th grade. We went to Ray together. Okay. And then we found out we was in the industry together, down the line. And, his mother had a after-school program. We both went to Ray, and she would have, all the kids from Hyde Park coming to her after-school program. It was a really reputable program. So, I know his family. We just go way back.
Now, when we was off air, you was telling me how you was shy. And, I'm shy, too, so you might not know that. You know what I'm saying? I just can turn it on well when it's microphone time. Mm-hmm. But how important has networking been to you, and how you shy having to network to get this big?
So, I don't know. I like people. So, I work in a hospital, too. I work at one of the most high-paying hospitals in the country.
I know you the type of shy person that you won't necessarily start the conversation, but you open for the conversation.
Yeah, okay. And then I like people. I care about people a lot, and that's one of my biggest faults is how much I care about people. I used to work in the law field, and then I switched to healthcare because, like, I be caring about the patients, and then, like, the team, you know, because we all just really working hard to make sure, like, people are ultimately straight. So I'll socialize with you, you know, like in a private setting. Like, I'll talk to you. I'll probably be the person talking the most if it's like a private environment. But when it comes to like being on stage or being in front of a large group of people, like, I go dance for years. And that was easy because I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to look you in your face. It's like a crowd of people. I ain't necessarily looking at nobody. It's not intimate for me.
Yeah.
Versus, like, if it's 6 of us in a room and you ask me to bust a note, I'm going to be embarrassed because it's like, you talking about, like, you're, like, looking at me.
Everybody paying attention.
So intense, right?
Yeah.
So, if that makes sense, that's how I'm shy. Yeah.
Now, how much did networking play a part into everything that you had going on? Because you got to know people, especially to throw events.
So, no, it's crazy because every single person that I ever met heard about the event and they just popped out. So all the celebrities I met, all the super lit Chicago artists, like every PR, every A&R, every record label that ever popped out, it was because they heard about it and they came out. They probably walked in, seen me, didn't even know that I was the person throwing the shit. So I'm just like, they'd be like, oh, such and such is in here. And, you know, you're supposed to, like, automatically shout these people out when they're in there because it's just, like, you know, being cordial. And then I'll just, like, introduce myself. Oh, my God, thank you so much for coming out. You know, because I'd still legitimately be a fan because I didn't know they were coming.
Right.
And then it just goes from there. Like, they'll try to get my information afterwards or just move up like that.
Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I ain't know you was just plugged in. You know what I'm saying? I just, like I say, I just know the Instagram. And I saw you was throwing an event, and I'm like, man, she's a black woman doing something. I want her on my podcast. That was literally the only reason I reached out to you, because I saw you doing something. You was a black woman, and it's so much negativity going on in the city. I just want to highlight people that's doing something. Like you say, you helping people regardless of how they look at it. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to open your showcase up to 40 artists. Yeah. I've been a part of something like that, and I know how hectic it is just to get all those people on stage, get all those songs played. Hey, bro, you got to keep it down to 5 minutes, you know what I'm saying? And they drop another song, you know, so I understand how it goes.
Yeah. And no, it'd be hilarious because, like, I always feel comfortable when Mal had there because he packs a major punch. Like, he will cut your music off. Like, if it get too, like, you know, or if he sees me getting frustrated, like, he'll cut it off. So I be like, they keep it, and people want to respect it because they want to come back. I didn't even know when I started. I've been doing it for 4 years now. I didn't know when it started that it was going to go this far. And then when we started skipping states, because, you know, the pandemic was happening, we didn't have any venues here to really do anything, and I, like, pride my shows off of doing them, you know, downtown in a place where everybody can go and feel, like, ultimately safe. You know, with all the stuff that's happened over the last year, like, we can't just say that. Yeah. But ultimately, all the different races feel like they can come out and it's a mutual place. So that's why I do my stuff, like, downtown in the city. I won't go south with it. Right. So when I couldn't do it downtown, I just wasn't doing nothing here. So then we skipped to St. Louis. We went to Atlanta. We went to Vegas. And, like, all my shows was equally as lit. Like, it was crazy. I don't even know how I did that.
What are those, not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
But what are those moments like when you actually in another state throwing an event and you still packing out the house? It's still busting.
That shit crazy. That shit just feel crazy. I don't know. We be on a high after that. Like, everybody would think that we would throw a show and go home or go out, like, afterwards and try to, like, party. Like, we be throwing the shows and going back to the room and chilling because it just be like...
Y'all celebrating that night.
Not even celebrating. We be going to bed. But it really be like...
So y'all just do this. That's
what
y'all
like,
do.
We really just do this. I feel like when you put your energy in the right place, like, you just do it. We was in St. Louis. We threw a successful show. I got an Airbnb for everybody. So, like, the DJs was there. My assistant was there. My best friend was there. My stylist was there. Like, we all just came back and went to sleep. And we was all separate. Just everybody was on the same frequency. Like, we was tired. Yeah. You know? So, yeah, we just, I don't know. We just do this. I think in the other states, though, it feels like the best. Because then I realized that my reach with artists is, like, pretty long.
What's one of those moments that you had to sit back and be like, damn. Shit.
When we was in Vegas, I could, like, that shit was crazy because we wound up, see, what I'll do is when I go to another state, I'll book so many Chicago artists, and then I'll make sure from association that I get my hands on so many artists from the state that we're going to.
Right.
And I'll stack the lineup, you know. So then I go out there, and, you know, the artists from out there, they'll do it because they can go to my page and see that we really do this. So it's not you know what I mean? And they hear that a bunch of Chicago people are coming out there. People fuck with Chicago.
Thanks.
So they already be on board. So I use my networking. The same thing I do. It's a formula. Like, it's not about who you are. It's literally a formula. I use the same formula here in the other states, and it works. I just have to switch up the demographic of artists.
It sounds like you need to have you a master class. You need to charge some people for your juice.
You know what, though? Sometimes, like, when you do it first, ain't nobody going to be able to do it the same way as you. So I'm going to do it to the T, you know, and then I will, you know, I do work with people. Like, I don't like making money off people. So people be like, Rachel, can I throw a show with you? I power events for people, literally. Swear to God. You can ask, like, any artist, if you go to my page and look at any event that I powered, not that I presented, but I powered. So it might be like somebody got a mixtape release for themselves, and Lucky One powers it. I pay my whole team to come out, and I allow that person to keep whatever money from their door, like whatever. They pay for their venue, like all that stuff, just to say that I helped them put it on.
Yeah. What explain the power behind it of just being a helpful person? Because a lot of people won't help you just because they think you gonna eclipse them one day. So what's the power behind helping people?
Because some people help you in intent of getting something down the line. Like, it ain't about that for me. Like, I'm helping you because it is helping me right now.
Thanks.
Like, so for you to be like, oh, Lucky One did this, you making my name float around. That's enough. I don't need any money from you. Yeah. Because your event is going to be, like, I ain't trying to treat nobody, but in the long term, like, your event might be a one event. My shit is old and long, and gonna keep coming because you help my name still float. Somebody else gonna want me to do the same thing.
Now, I know you had this work ethic instilled in you at a very young age, but how do you keep it going? Because I know you had times where you be like, man, I'm a little tired. I ain't trying to do this, but you still got to keep it moving.
Cause I need to be somewhere. I need to be where I want to be financially by a certain age. Like, I'm not bad off, you know, but I want to be where I want to be, like, you know, some stupid racks, you know, by maybe 36, 37. I'm 32 right now.
Okay.
So, like, I feel like I'm gonna be there the next couple of years. Like, I'm decent, you know. It's just I want to really, really be racking it in based off what I'm doing. So that'd be enough for me. I'm never satisfied.
So what would you say is your ultimate goal?
I mean, I want to provide the largest platform for all. I want to be like a American household name. Like, the platform is a showcase that you perform in. If you're an indie artist, you're not signed. No matter what level of artistry you want, no matter what city. Like, we come into a city near you, type shit.
Now, I know you touched on it briefly about COVID slowing it down. How did it actually impact your brand? Or did it make your brand stronger? Did it hurt you a little bit?
See, either you excelled in COVID or you drowned in it. Either you was getting super money or you was watching everybody get super money.
Facts.
Let's shut down again. Let's shut down again because I feel like I was in my most creative space when we was shut down because I had no choice but to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
It made us travel. Like, we wasn't traveling yet until we couldn't do nothing here. So it wouldn't be bad to see what I was forced to do. You never know what you'll do until you put in a situation.
Yeah. Type shit. So what would you say is one of those things that you learned from COVID, other than making it travel, like something you learned about yourself?
That I could do anything I put my mind to. That sounds corny as hell, but that's big facts. You manifest shit. Yeah. So when I realized, like, I'll say, like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I do it, like, most of the people around me, like my close friends, I don't have that many friends. I don't kick it with too many people, but the people that are around are people who have heard me say what I'm going to do and watch me do it in their face because they know that I'm not bullshitting them. So I can do anything that I really want to do. I just have to want to do it or it's not going to get done.
Now, I don't know if you're doing this. I'm going to just throw this idea out here for you. Like, you really should document your process. You feel me? I know it's cliche now, everything content, but like you say, you trying to make it happen by 34, 35, 36, you know what I'm saying? So imagine over the next 4 years, if you document everything and you look back on it, then you can start that master class.
Oh gosh, Jesus, look. I gotta get. I'm really bad at documenting things. I'm good at it, like paperwork, like stuff like that. That's what I do at the hospital. Like I'm a computer nerd, kind of. But when it comes like video and like documenting me, because I never thought I personally was that interesting. I don't know. I mean, you just have to like see. Like I don't know.
You'll be amazed, cause like. I don't watch TV as much, you know what I'm saying? I'm on YouTube all the time now. And I tell artists all the time, like when I interview them, some of them I interview and I've never heard their music. Like my co-host will bring them on and I just have a genuine conversation with them. And literally after that, we'll go listen to their music just off the conversation that we had and how much I learned about them in that conversation. Mm-hmm. So people gravitate towards the story behind you, and like I said, I didn't know anything about. I didn't know half of these things about you, but I don't know if you ever put any of this into the universe.
I never really put any of it out there.
So it's gonna be people that be like, "Damn, she really doing it." You might have somebody out there hating on you right now that see this and be like, "Damn, why the fuck I'm hating on her?" Like I should be empowering her.
It'd be a couple of haters, but. The haters make you successful too.
Yeah.
And they really just be hating because they're inspired by you. It's really all it is.
All right, now this is one of my favorite questions to ask. So I ask everybody this question. I always get a different answer. So this is why I ask this question. If you can go back and give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
I've made a lot of money in my lifetime. Maybe stack a little harder.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, but everybody that's young play with money.
Facts.
It's a part of growth.
Yeah,
so I don't regret that. I feel everything that I went through, I was supposed to go through to get to this point. So I don't regret nothing. Maybe I should have just stacked a little more.
All right, now you touched on being married for a quick second, so I want to ask you this question. Like, did you feel like you got married too young, or you just the situation caused y'all to outgrow each other?
So the situation we were in caused us to get married, and the situation, like, him becoming famous and stuff, that it wasn't an outgrowth. It was like he wanted me to accept things out of him that I would never accept because I know him how I know him.
Right.
Like, boy, I know you from high school. I'm not about to let you be trying to, you know what I mean? I do not have daddy issues, and you're not about to be trying to play with me like that.
Facts.
But, yeah, that was really it. I think that everybody was shocked that I was, like, on that stand with it. But it's because, like, I really just couldn't allow him to disrespect me like that.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't. It ain't never that serious.
Now, you had an event Tuesday. So let's highlight the event Tuesday. Like, what are some of the artists you excited to see on your showcase?
I fuck with all the female artists. I love them. They come out and they get it real turnt. And then all the guys come out because they want to see the females. We got this artist named Disconnected coming back out. He sings he doesn't sing, but it's kind of like a punk rock rapper. See, I don't want to categorize him because start putting titles on people. But he hasn't been out in a while, and his style is just real different. And then there's this other one named Vonzo. He asked me could he do the show. I haven't responded yet, but that's just because I was on my way here. Yeah. When I found out he was coming out, I was excited because his whole project just sounds different. Like, his music just sounds different. I think it's Sanit, the female artist. Her videos are really animated, and she's a really good performer, so I'm pretty excited to see her. And then we had a girl who just started performing for the first time. She's a model, but she's actually a really good artist. Like, I was shocked. Her name is Cashmere, and she's coming out to perform. And then my friend Desi, I actually met her through the shows. I consider her a friend. We did not know each other before this, but she supports me so heavy. Like, she make you feel like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or maybe she was really just, cool with me, because she literally just come out for me, make sure I'm straight, you know what I mean? Like, all my shit. And then she started performing. I didn't even know she was an artist.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she dropped her first song, and the shit was lit.
Right.
So I'm excited to see her perform that again, because it was busted when she performed the last time, and then she was talking about she wasn't ready to perform again. She needed to get her, her performance together. And I'm like, girl, the song lit. Like, people gonna, fall in tune because it's decent. So those are probably the main ones I'm excited to see.
Do you ever look at yourself as an artist breaker? Because half the artists you name I've never heard of. Mm-hmm. You feel me? But once again, I see the artists that you post on your page, and it's usually music video snippets, and I've never seen a weak one. I've never heard a weak song. All of it made me say, damn, who is this person?
See, what's crazy is, okay, so when I was, like, coming up, like, platform 1 through 10, that was the come up. That was like when I worked with Shauna, when I worked with Heron Tracks, when I had Cowboy come out. Like, those were the people that led into every artist who isn't necessarily being known just wanting to reach me. And I figured out, because I've been talked to by a couple of entities trying to get me to drop Lucki One as a name and join them and do what I do under their umbrellas, which I'm never going to do. But I had, people come out, and I just started kind of just rocking with the newer artists, Like, I have, like, the artists that I fuck with, and I'll invite them out, but it's important to expand. So people try to talk to me to get me to work with them because of my reach with all these artists. Like, how many people just know, like, let me talk to Rachel to, like, come out so I could be around certain people, because you're going to be around these people, and that's what they care about. So I really just, I don't know. I like bringing out, like, newer artists, older artists. Like, I don't have, like, a specific group of people that I reach. I bring out 14-year-olds. Like, they be in and out of there. They'll come perform. They be in and out. Like, labels, they'll try to have them, get up there real quick, get out, and be done with it. So I really, like, just try to get kind of, like, everybody out there. Like, everybody. Getting a new artist up there is always a plus, because that's 2 more new artists I'm going to meet behind that new artist. Yeah. And once you realize that it's a pyramid like that, you'll know how many new people that you need to have.
Now, how do you feel about the people that say Chicago has that crab in the bucket mentality when there's people out here like you giving people these platforms to be great?
So, I mean, I guess I can, like, understand where people are coming from, in a sense where it do come off like when you do well here that people will hate on you or not want to see you, succeed, or, like, people steal Chicago content all the time. Like, if you go anywhere, they love when we come there because they jack our swag. That's really what it is. So I don't believe we have a crab in a barrel type mentality. I think that we just haven't been able to break our music industry the way that we needed to break it. Like, everybody will get on and then feel the need to go somewhere else because they think they get more help there. When the reality is, it's all here. You just got to know how to put the pieces together type stuff. Because everybody getting their content from here. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Like, they really are. I'd be so dead.
All right, so what's next for you?
So I'm going to keep, throwing my shows. I'm about to do Platform All-Stars. That's going to be fun. Because everybody be tight about the lineup or whatever, but the reality is you cannot be tight when you're coming out singly, you're not bringing anybody, and you're not, like, providing your artistry as a resource for other artists to monopolize off your crowd. Like, you coming out dolo. Right. So you can't say nothing. Right. The people who have the larger crowds, I give them really good time slots because it's like they are, trying to apply to this. I don't charge for slots. I have to invite you. So I'm not doing it for the money. It's literally like I'm trying to make sure that, like, everybody is heard. So we're going to do Platform All-Stars. I'm going to choose 10 artists, the 10 most busting artists in the city who have, like, projects, who have, like, networking that could be applicable to other people who, have really good crowd interaction, bring out a lot of people. Like, that's what we're about to do. And then I think we're about to do a Platform Miami. I was supposed to go to Miami, like, maybe like a week ago, and something happened and I had to not go. But I'm going to still get down there and book the venue so we can go ahead and knock it out because I want to do it before the summer is up.
Let me salute you for everything, one, that you're doing for the city. You feel me? Once again, a black woman killing shit. Because I feel like black women been killing shit for like the past 15 years. Ain't nobody been saying nothing. Like y'all somehow been quietly doing it in these past couple years. Like it's just been black women everywhere taking over the world. So salute to you for that.
Thank you.
Salute to your platform. I know it's hard and very difficult to build a platform, and it's not easy. And one single mistake can crumble that foundation that you building. So I'm gonna say keep doing you, keep saying fuck the haters, and just keep being innovative, you know, because once you get stagnant, like you said, it was time to branch out. You went to St. Louis, now you going to Miami. Like, oh, that's different. Like, not too many people take they what they have going on in Chicago and take it to other places. Like you say, they leave Chicago and they don't tend to come back. You feel me? So shout out to you for looking out for Chicago artists and just giving a positive light on the city.
I appreciate that. It, like, Chicago lit. Like, the reality is, Chicago just lit. Like, we lit. Like, some people, you know, if people from New York, they'll try to say we like country, but that's just because they a little more, I guess, in higher fashion than us. It ain't, and I don't even, you know, I like how we are here, but Chicago is lit. I can't go to another place and really, like, date dudes, because they not like Chicago dudes. Right. You know, it's like a thing, and then girls will come from other places and be talking about, oh, I like dudes from Chicago. You know, it's like a thing. Like, girls from Chicago. Like, Chicago is just lit. We got the prettiest city. You know, we have 4 seasons. Like, our fall here, you can't get it nowhere else.
Facts.
You know, so it's just like, I don't want to leave if I don't have to leave.
And the food.
The food is the best.
Second to none.
The food is the best. Because please believe I've been eating. I've gained 25 pounds over the pandemic.
Shout out to the pandemic.
25 pounds. Facts. Because I've been eating crab legs.
I'm going to ask you that off air because it's like, why do women love crab legs so much? But before we get out of here, you got anybody you want to shout out? You got any more things you want to salute?
So, you know, ultimately, I did start the platform with a group of people that kind of, you know, not kind of, like, we did what we did till we couldn't do it no more together. Yeah. So I guess shout out to TCO and ID to G, and definitely Mile High and Scully, and Moesha and Rashad, because I can't do nothing without them. Like, my team is like everything. They so lit.
Can't do nothing without a strong team.
You can't, but, like, it's really just how they rock with you, too. You know, like, they not, like, they
got to feel empowered, you know what I'm saying? They got to be able to do their own thing, you feel me? And not look at it like they doing you a favor, like we all doing each other. Because high key,
us doing the show together, we all been making a name off of it individually. Like, everybody know everybody for what they do. And, yeah, that's it, that's all.
All right, so once again, shout out to you. Thank you for sliding, you feel me? It's
Thanks
Sunday.
for having me.
No doubt. I'm glad you pulled up. I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. Yeah. So once again, salute to you.
Thank you.
All right, this has been another episode of Conversations with Jay.